What up? What up? Yeah, buddy.
Nobody say anything.
I guess I'm not supposed to. What up, everybody? Welcome back to Late Night Live, episode 35. We just lost Travis for some reason.
We live?
Yeah. I'll get him back.
He's back. Oh, and yeah, he's got a black.
He's a ghost.
I know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Wow, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of ominous.
I know. I kind of like it. It's Halloween time.
Not yet.
Steps
Well,
Gaming
close
is in the chat. What's going on? Thanks for coming on to the show. Oh, there you are. Now you're back.
But I'm frozen.
But you're frozen.
Frozen again. Hold on.
Just keep clicking.
Yeah. 10 frames a second.
Yeah.
It'll be like Doom and rendered in AI.
SNES Doom.
Oh, he's gone again. Ace of Jacks Media Grounds. Chris, how are you?
This is going to be a fun show.
Your brother's here,
I'm
Alicrian.
good.
That's good. You keeping tabs on your brother? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. What team is the M hat? It's Mexico.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I guess we're good.
We'll find out.
All right. I guess I'm a little distracted here. All right. So, and Eric, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm doing well. He's a ghost.
I don't know.
Evil Travis.
Yeah.
Black shadow figure. You know, things are supposed to just work on the Mac OS when it comes to video and audio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll just go with that.
But apparently no.
Mm-mm.
See, now I'm just frozen.
Yeah.
Hey, Biggie D's in the house. What's going on, my friend?
Biggie.
Are you going to Portland Retro Gaming? Yes, I believe all of us are.
I just got my tickets.
You got your tickets?
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay, no worries. Biggie D, get a flight and go. Yeah, Steps is going to be there. The big news this weekend, though, is PAX West. So that's what's going on this weekend. Dathan is not here. He is at PAX West right now. Well, I'm sure he went home or to his hotel, but and we lost Travis again. But I'm driving up to Seattle tomorrow morning, so should be go. Oh, there he is. That Research Stadium background is absolutely horrible. Well, he's not here to see your comment, Dathan. So
we will let him know.
I don't know if you saw, Dathan. There's like if you're buying tickets on StubHub now for Research Stadium, it shows like their stadium, but it's got like a different background of what's actually there. Like it shows like a big city,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's like, no, Corvallis does not look like that.
Yeah, I lived in Corvallis. That's not accurate.
Nintendo is at PAX West. Yes, they are. So they're going to be showing some video from the new Zelda game and some other stuff. I know they got Nintendo World Championships too, I think, but we already have that. But definitely interested in the new Zelda echoes of whatever it is. Oh, there he is. There he is.
Wisdom.
Echoes
of
virtual
background.
Yeah. You're better off about it.
We're all lost without you, Dathan.
Yep. That'll do it.
I'm sorry, Dathan, but the stream agrees with you. It's an awful background.
Did you guys play any games last week? Ace of Jacks, Media Grounds, any video games? Chris?
He's on like a strong delay, I think.
Yes, I did. Are
you there?
Yeah,
yeah.
You're on the
delay. Crypt Custodian. Yep.
Should I turn him off?
So, I'm gonna leave real quick.
Yeah,
right
rejoin.
All right. I mean, I do put the fans in the stands. Yes, you do. Eric, did you play any video games last week?
I played one video game last week, which was Link's Awakening DX.
Oh, okay, right.
So I called in the Nintendo Power Helpline, and Chris helped me out and got me out of unstuck from the walrus part. And then I was able to clear dungeons 5 and 6. Or maybe just 5, and I'm right at the end of 6. I think that's where I'm at. And there's 2 dungeons left, so I'm pretty close to done with that, which is fun.
Nice. Saiyan Spirits, I did get the new Star Wars game, and I'll talk about that when it's my turn here, but yes. So
Glitch Wars.
Yeah. Travis, did you get to play any more video games last week? Did you play any more?
Yep. As a matter of fact, right up to when I joined, was playing Uncharted 4.
Nice.
Really digging it. And I wish that they had ported. You guys mentioned Uncharted 2, and they did not do a PC port of that one and have no plans to do 1 through 3. Mm-hmm. So 4, and then I guess the one that I have after that. I don't know how much of a legit game that is, or if it's just kind of DLC. I don't know. And then also Grim Fandango. Still playing that one as well, and got my youngest daughter into Nintendo World Champion.
Oh, really?
I know. She got an S in one of the Mario ones that was listed as hard. So she was all proud of herself for that, and I told her that's better than I can do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just thought it was funny that at first she was like, I had no interest in it. And then I watched me kind of take a couple stabs at one of them and was like, let me try. And then she just got sucked in to where I just heard her for like 15 minutes over and over and over on that Mario thing. Right.
That's great.
So we'll see if she latches onto it, but I think that she wants to keep trying.
Yeah.
The different challenges. Yeah.
That's great. No, hopefully
funny.
She can keep challenging you, and you can keep the bar going.
I'm not going to get any S's.
Show,
I'm just an A++ is an S as far as I'm concerned.
show her our times, and then she can compete.
Well, she asked about you, Eric. She asked how far you got, and I said Eric's got S's in all of them. So what's it matter?
That's not true.
And then she got, well, I think I said that you're bad at Mario.
I'm bad at Mario.
So she said, tell Eric I got an S in this Mario thing. So there you go.
Right.
I'm making it official on the podcast.
I've been told.
Yeah, I've been told.
Steps Gaming says the new Castlevania Dominus collection is amazing. Highly recommended. Yes, nice. Well, I got some video to share about that. Chris, Asa Jax, are you on a time delay? Are you here with us?
I don't know. Am I delayed now?
You're good now.
You sound good now.
Okay, I'm good now. Okay. So I picked up Crypt Custodian on the Xbox.
Nice.
It's a fun little platformer action game. Played some more Black Myth Wukong. I also went back to Link's Awakening on the Switch, and I forgot where it was at, and so I have no idea where I'm supposed to go because it doesn't tell you where you're supposed to go. So I spent about 20 minutes trying to figure out where I last was at it, and finally just gave up. I don't remember what I was doing in this one.
Sure.
So
it would be a hard one to stop, come back to like months, years later.
Yeah. And the last time I played it was back in 2023. So
unless you kept copious notes, which I was thinking about, I should have been doing. I should have been writing notes for this game, but I've been so, I don't know, what's the word? Infantilized by modern gaming that I don't even have the first thought to take notes anymore.
Yeah,
but that used to be the default. That you used to need to take notes when you were playing a game.
Sure. But life has moved on, and I don't think that missing the note taking is anything that we're suffering from.
Well,
I disagree with games that make you do that.
I remember back in Hollywood Video when they were around, and you'd rent a game, somebody left like notes in there
in the back of the manual,
in the back of the manual, or they just like handwritten out like this is all the cheat codes for like Mortal Kombat. You'd open it up and there'd be a piece of paper with somebody's like handwritten like cheat codes.
Yeah, I remember but the game that I took the most notes on was Ultima 5. That was constant because you were trying to keep track of quests, so you met somebody in U and you'd be like, this person's looking for a Stein, and then somewhere way across the other side of the world, because apparently that's where that guy's Stein ended up, you find his Stein and then you boat it all the way back and give it to him. That one I remember taking the most on. But there were all those games, you take
so
notes.
did it Ultima not give you like a list of the quests that you were on?
No,
really?
Not at all. No, not at all. And it wouldn't even be like this is a quest. Some guy you'd be talking to, and he'd be like, "Oh, I'm missing this Stein. It'd be great someday if I could find it."
Yeah,
or not even say that. Know.
No indication that it's a quest. No marker anywhere that this is
no
where
reward.
he is. Or right. Yeah.
The reward was just thanks. That's it. Because those games didn't even have proper level ups. Yeah. So no, I don't miss it, and that's what one of my complaints of Elden Ring was that it didn't have a quest log, and somebody was like, dude, you got to take notes, and I was like, there's a time in my life where I did do that, and now I'm glad that we don't have to in all of these games. But yeah, but I get it. I mean, in a way, that's part of the work, right?
Yeah.
I saw that Biggie D said he's playing God of War. I agree. I was late to the party on that because I waited for the PC port, and I agree that that's one of the best games.
Well,
I connected with that.
The sequel's even better.
Yeah, I get it in a couple weeks, right? Comes out on PC in September. Yeah, no, that's why I'm trying to keep these games I hate the fact that I like Uncharted so much that I feel like I'm kind of rushing through it because I'm rushing through it so that I'm wrapped up with it when God of War comes out.
Sure.
Although it'll probably be a buggy mess anyway when it comes out, so I probably shouldn't rush to it because I'll probably have to wait 3 weeks for proper patches.
Maybe not.
Or they can take the Ubisoft approach and patch it so your entire save's wiped out. You know.
Yeah. That used to be a thing with all these games. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe I'll be surprised and maybe it'll just launch cleanly. But we'll see. Most of the PlayStation ports have had kind of day one issues, and nothing that really kills it, but enough to where you've got to, you know, yeah, wait a little bit for it to be totally smooth. But maybe not. I mean, it is the sequel. Maybe it'll work great.
I have been playing. God, what did I've been playing. I got Star Wars Outlaws the other day, or not the other day, today.
Yeah.
And I played a couple hours of that, and I finally got the missing achievements I needed in Starfield. So I did the. Oh God! Now my mind's blank. The quest when you start stealing things and you get into this underground guild and now I'm losing my train of thought of what it is, but it's an amazing side quest and it might have been the best side quest in the whole game, but I'm glad I finally finished it. I wasn't able to finish it before because there was a glitch in the game and it wouldn't let me continue on. So, but now that I finished the game and I went back and tried to do it again, it let me do it. So, but yeah, it seems like you guys want to talk about Star Wars Outlaws. I
promise a fortune for whoever can bring me her head. There'll be nowhere in a galaxy.
The game's playing good.
I started falling into some of the hype because the reviews I read on it were actually positive. And I like the Ubisoft open world Assassin's Creed games, and I like Star Wars, so I was thinking this would actually be right up my alley, right? But is that kind of the way that it is?
You know what? I've started to like it because there is no Jedi in it, and you basically just got a blaster, you got a grappling hook, and like I'm at this part, like start sliding down things. Like this is the intro. So, and one of the first things you got to do is steal things. You got to steal stuff off people with your little animal friend, and then you get to this part, you steal a ship.
Cool.
You know, that's things I think Jedi don't really do.
Well, no,
maybe they do
this one, right?
Yeah. So so far I'm enjoying it. I think, and what I've heard is it gets even better. The game is beautiful.
Have you gotten to where it's an open world area, or are you still kind of in the intro stuff?
Yeah, I just got to the open world. You get a speeder bike. I'm playing it in performance mode, I think, or performance favors quality or something like that. Mm-hmm. But I think you can see that the cutscenes look good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Dathan said he was going to pick it up. TBD if I'm going to go hit up Ubisoft Plus. How much is Ubisoft Plus?
Oh, it locked up on you. Bug.
Anyway,
I like that effect where you can hear them and it gives an outline of where they are. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
But anyway, I'll keep playing it next week, and we'll see how things go, how things shake out. So, the big news of the day, I got to talk about this, you guys. I saw this. They posted this on their Twitter or YouTube. My God.
Dangerous mutants have been detected in the area.
They're going to announce Uncanny X-Men Stern Pinball next week, you guys.
That's cool.
Oh
That's
my
really cool.
Lord. How cool is that?
Well, my only complaint is that the Iron Man table that they did, I didn't like. So we don't really know what
I knew
the
they did an
table is
Avengers
like.
table.
Yeah, there's an Iron Man one that's local to me, and I'm not a fan of it.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that this isn't going to be good, you know?
I didn't know they did an Iron Man one. That must be an
Yeah.
older Stern one.
I think so. Let me look it up.
Released in 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is an older one.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
They only made the pro version, so.
Yes, yeah. I just didn't like the play in it. Like it was just, I don't know. It was just kind of bashed the toy in the center, focused, and that was about it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, just looking at the table here on their website, it doesn't look all that
good.
Yeah, so
But
it was
look at
kind of
that,
one
like,
of those things where it felt like they thought that the IP would just kind of carry it, you know, and I was worried they were going to do that when they started doing the AC/DC and Metallica tables, and oddly enough, those tables are really, really well done.
yeah, no, I have a feeling this is going to be amazing, you guys. Like,
Yeah, it could
you're going to be able to, this Sentinel's going to pop up in the middle, and one of your goals is to be able to attack the Sentinel and defeat him, and you'll be able to pick several of your characters. I bet it's going to have that RPG element that we've been talking about in these Stern tables, where it'll save your progress, the insider connected stuff. Dang, I can't wait. So I wonder if they're going to have this at Portland Retro Gaming Expo next month. Maybe that's too.
It's a tall ask.
It's a tall ask, but maybe not, because it seems like when John Wick, they announced John Wick, those came out. We started seeing them maybe a month later.
Yeah.
So it might line up.
Do they have a bit decent pinball presence at that trade show?
They do, because
that expo. They do. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next level is the main distributor, Stern, in Oregon. And I'll go to I have a Next Level video for you guys today.
It's no surprise that this pinball arcade located just
if you guys
outside
haven't
of
been to
Portland,
Next
Oregon,
Level,
has been voted world's favorite pinball arcade for 3
they just
years
dropped
running.
this.
With over 600 games, including more than 625 pinball machines
Steps,
and
if you haven't been
games,
to Next Level when you're up here, you need to hit it up.
Pop culture museum, and the largest collection of lunchboxes in the world, there is something fun for everyone. They say that if you wanted to play every game here, it would take about 3.5 days.
Yeah.
Join us in Hillsboro, Oregon, as we meet the family behind Next Level Pinball Shop.
This video goes into the owners.
Next Level is a 27,000 square foot pop culture.
So I think she's the daughter of one of the main owners. She seems really young.
We've also got 650 games to play. We opened this business in 2017.
Yeah, Biggie D.
You'd
never want to leave this place.
It has something that somebody can find from their childhood. Doesn't really matter your age. There's got to be something in here that you can find and enjoy, whether it's the arcades, the pinballs, or all the memorabilia on the walls. At Next Level, we have tried to bring in all the games that would cater to any age group, whether it be pinballs or arcades, newer stuff, older stuff people can recognize, names that you can recognize. Lots of fun, lots of cranes to play.
Oh, I didn't realize they have a Funko collection.
Yeah.
I hate those things.
You know, what's cool about Next Level is there's so many different ways to kind of enjoy yourself here. So, you know, we're open, you know, Thursday through Sunday usually, so anyone can come in just single day, come in and enjoy themselves. We also get so many different types of events, and it's not just kids' birthday parties, it's a lot of like 4-year-old birthday parties and corporate events. We're getting wedding requests now. It's this place where you engage
Eric, you
in
can
a
get married
really
there.
fun, unique way. And
Yeah,
so it's
you know
fun
anybody?
to bring your 10-year-old. It's fun to bring your like
Well,
40-year-old
walk down the
to
pinball
like
aisle.
relive the days at the arcade.
Exactly. You
But
never
can
know who you're
also,
going to
like,
meet.
Bring your corporate event here. And again, it's a way to like socialize in a way that's not, it's just so welcoming to so many different people that it loses the stuffy attitude that I think some like corporate events have, and suddenly make it this like just really cool team building event. Totally different ways to sort of enjoy yourself in your big event here.
So we want our customers that have been here 50 to 100 times to still be able to come in and find new stuff that they can find, so that it's always changing and a new fun experience for older customers that have been here and the newer customers that it's their first time here.
Next Level, what makes it special is hard to put into words. You have to come here to see it, to enjoy it, and to understand it. We feel it's the eighth wonder of the world.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, I'm glad I got that on there. Makes me want to go back.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I wanted to cover the stuff at the Nintendo Partner Direct. You guys good with that?
Yep.
Let's see. I'm just pulling the stuff that I thought was cool. Here is... I'm sure that you guys heard of this game.
Anniversary of Tetris with a compilation of historic
Never heard of
games.
it. Looks new.
Experience the 1988 Famicom version of Tetris.
Yeah, Biggie D, that place, it is really clean. They have just people employed that just go around and clean all the machines. And it really it does help when you have one of those places.
Use special moves to win
nice.
in Tetris Battle Gaiden. And more in this interactive museum, including the games shown here.
Biggie D, do you like Tetris?
In addition, enjoy the brand new Tetris Time Warp, where you'll jump between gameplay styles from across the series.
Also at Portland Retro Gaming Expo, they'll have the Tetris World Championships, so if you want to try it out.
The history of Tetris and
there
its
you go.
key
I think the Game Boy version is my go-to version.
I think it's mine too.
This year.
It's for me. It's a Tetris Effect in
Plus,
VR.
The NES version of Tetris is coming to Nintendo Switch Online this winter.
I
Be on the
believe
lookout
that's
for a future.
Yeah. I believe that's a Digital Eclipse game. So I like supporting those guys. I'm gonna get Tetris. Love this game. Sweet. And then they announced this Castlevania game. I never had a Nintendo DS, so I've never played any of these games. Chris, have you played these games?
I have not. I didn't have a DS either. I had the 3DS, but I don't think I ever played any of these.
Yeah. So these are you can buy this right now for $24.99 on Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation. There's a physical version coming to limited run, but you won't get that till next year or 2026 or whatever. But I like how they did, they got the dual screen on the side there. They had to figure out a way to incorporate it.
Yeah.
Otherwise it wouldn't work. Steps Gaming says, I've never played any of them, but I will tell you they are amazing. I bought this for Haunted Castle remake, and those games are all great. Yeah,
See, and I'd never heard of Haunted Castle, and it was apparently an arcade game originally.
Yeah, I've never seen it in an arcade either.
I do like the fact that you can change up how the screen looks. So if you want it to look like the original DS version, you can have like the map on top and the screen down below.
Right. But yeah, I think I'll pick this up eventually. I love those graphics. The Symphony of the Night style. Yeah. Let's see. Next one. Turn down the volume. So, Chris, were you excited about this at all? I know I was.
Is this the one with Power Stone?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we're bringing back my Dreamcast games.
I think most of these games are on Dreamcast. Yeah, it's dope. I love Capcom versus SNK too. I'm pretty sure I remember playing you, dude. And we definitely played Power Stone together.
Yep.
And it's gonna have Power Stone 1 and 2. Amazing games. So much fun.
I don't remember ever playing Project Justice.
I don't remember Project Justice. I don't think I've played Street Fighter 3 Alpha Upper. I think that was an arcade version. I played Plasma Sword. That was on Dreamcast for sure. So cool. I want to give my Nintendo arcade stick a workout here. It's kind of funny how, you know, they're finally coming out with some of these old retro games now that maybe the Nintendo Switch is nearing the end of its life cycle. But it just shows like, man, it's going to be a great console for a long time now that they've added some of these games. But all of these have online, all of them have rollback, netcode, coming 2025.
It's I think Capcom's smart in releasing these as compilation instead of just one game at a time.
Oh, they probably could have separated a lot of those in there. Like if they just did a Power Stone collection, I would have bought that. Biggie D asked, "What's a good Nintendo Switch arcade stick?" I have the 8-bit Do one, and I'm pretty happy with it. But I know there's several for Nintendo Switch. But the 8-bit Do one, you can swap out the buttons and sticks if you want to. It's not too hard. They announced the release date for the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, September 12th. So it's like 2 weeks. Sick. So, Chris, you got to get that.
Yep.
I know we always say like when like the college football game came out or whatever, we're gonna do Dynasty and whatever, but we never hook up for about like, man, we got to play this. And if any of you guys, in the chat wanna fight me, I'm down. Ali Korean says, I think we are also seeing these classics getting re-released because that report at GDC earlier this year about gamers going back and playing older titles instead of newer titles made them act. That's easy money for them. It's low-hanging fruit. People want this. There was a huge demand for this. Oh, are you serious, Dathan? MV Marvel vs. Capcom Collection is available for demo at PAX. Is there a long wait there? I'm going to take video of that tomorrow.
There probably will be a long wait.
Hell yeah. Because last year you could play Tekken 8 before it came out. And it seems like there was another fighting game that they had. Tekken 8 was the big one. I remember that. Yeah, go where your customers are, for sure. Let's see. I know Dathan. Let's see. They just released this video for the new Zelda game. Dathan, in the chat, if you want to just give us your general impressions of it. Sounds like you were able to play it for 15 minutes earlier. Yeah, we can talk about the GameStop retro stuff too. GameStop is turning some of their stores into retro stores.
Torn apart by mysterious.
Yeah, the market responded well to that. I think their stock is up 8% today. Based on
is it really?
Yeah.
Well, the prices for a lot of these things, because you can go on the website and look. If they get enough of these out there and they actually have the games out there, this is going to really affect a lot of those resellers who are selling games at such high prices, because they've got Suikoden 2 for the original PlayStation. They're selling for $100. Most places online sell it for $250. So it's surprisingly with this, I was kind of expecting GameStop to kind of do some price gouging, but it seems like they're actually possibly this could be a good way to get competition back in the retro game market.
Well, someone posted on Twitter yesterday. He says, and I don't know how true this is, but he says he went to a GameStop yesterday and they had repro GBA carts for full price, $40 to $50. And when I said they were fake to the cashier, he said, "I know, they just they don't let us deny cartridges if they technically work. So I don't buy retro carts from GameStop." So yeah, I'm sure Dathan, if he was here, you would have had something to say about that. But like, wow, that's wild. If they take fake stuff and they're selling it there, I wouldn't be surprised. I hate GameStop.
Even if they had a policy of not taking fake stuff, what are the odds they'd be able to train their employees effectively to reject them?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, how do you know? Like, if you were to ask me to point out a fake Pokemon Game Boy Advance cartridge, I couldn't tell you what one looks like.
Yeah.
It's a big ask.
I would look at it and go, oh, hey, cool. It plays. It's Pokemon. It does everything it's supposed to. So to me, it's the game. I don't know. I wouldn't step foot in a GameStop. I haven't in a long time. But
why not?
They become too pushy. The last time I was there, it was all about signing up for their pro membership and oh, hey, what else can we add on? And it's like, I'm just here to look. I don't want to buy anything unless I find something that tickles my fancy.
They just have a lot of like Funko stuff in there, like expensive toys like you never want. I bought games there. What really pisses me off, like I want to buy a new game and they take the discs out of the game so they're not sealed.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then they sell it back to you.
Yeah.
And I think Dathan had a story like he got a game that was used or something, but it's like, man, it's like that just pisses me off. Like, why they're afraid of theft or something? So,
what do we? I didn't read any of the press releases about the GameStop retro stores. Are they separate stores dedicated to retro gaming, or are they just a corner inside of normal GameStops that says retro games? Or do we even know how the experience is going? What it's going to look like?
Look like a smelly GameStop.
Yeah, I wonder if they're are they picking their underperforming stores or are they picking their stores that are doing really well? And it seems to me they wouldn't do the whole store, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I guess we need to go out into the wild to find out. Yeah,
I just read the headline saying they were doing it, and then I checked the stock price, but I don't know what it's going to what the execution will look like. Because if they get rid of all of like kitschy pop culture stuff that I mostly don't care about, like Funko Pop, and just had dedicated a store to retro gaming stuff, and those employees are trained differently than general employees to differentiate between fake products or reproduction products and the real thing, then that could be a compelling retail experience for someone like me. But I generally assume I'm not the target audience for retail experiences, so I doubt very much that it's going to look like anything I want it to be.
Yeah, it's probably going to be like the Toys R Us that was brought back into
right.
Yeah,
a section of Macy's has Toys R Us.
Yeah, and you walk in and you're like, yeah, finally Toys R Us is back, and it's like maybe 5 feet of shelving, and you're like, what is this?
Yeah,
this is
not the same. No, I agree.
It's not the same, but I will say the Toys R Us section of whatever
Macy's,
if it's Macy's, is better than no Toys R Us. There were some shelves in there that I was like, oh, that's cool.
Leakerian says they're just a corner inside GameStop. No sign either right now.
Okay, yeah.
I asked them if they're going to re-merchandise, and the employee told me no plan to change the layout too much. Well,
So
they need to do probably something. So if their stock's up, I guess that's a good sign. Maybe they'll have a VHS collection for Chris.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, maybe we check it out. We'll see.
I'd give it a few months and then see what it's like. It may take them a little bit. But then again, it may end up just being a complete waste of time with their website being the only way you can look and go, oh, these prices are nice, but I'm not buying from a website.
Yeah.
Because I want to actually see the product.
Yeah, right. Especially if it's used.
I know we were talking about resellers in our last episode, but it's now we're talking about GameStop being the resellers, and maybe they're actually the dirty ones compared to the individual people that are out reselling, because they have probably a more effect on the price of video games than the individual.
That's what Chris was saying. It sounds like they're putting downward pressure on the price, though, rather than upward, which it would be an interesting turn of events and might reveal that there's like a speculative bubble in retro gaming that needs bursting, which would be, on the one hand, it would suck for us because we have all this collection of retro gaming and the value of that would go down. But on the other hand, I think introducing or making it more affordable for the next generation to play these things is important too, Yeah.
And like, what do you think they have a large inventory of? Like, I don't feel like GameStop would have like Nintendo carts there. They're going to have like Xbox 360. They're going to have PlayStation 3.
Well, I mean,
I don't know. It's like,
based on their website, they have everything back as far as NES.
They don't have Atari. I did see that, Travis.
And
they don't have all the ETs.
No,
they just dug them up
they
out of
decided
Reno.
not to do it.
Yeah. Said, here, now we can start our retro collection.
Right.
Well, and part of that article down back in 2015, 2016, they actually were still taking in stuff as far back as the original NES.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
For trade.
So they might have, might have a big inventory that has just been sitting somewhere.
They've got like Indiana Jones warehouse where like the Lost Ark is like just hidden, and they're just gonna bring it out.
Belongs in a museum.
Well, and that's what the article said, was that they were shipping, all the stores were told to ship all that retro gaming stuff back to the warehouse, and then it was online. You could buy online from them, but now they're putting it back in the stores. So
that would be amazing if they had like Super Nintendo, if they had all this old stuff in the original box, like unopened, sealed.
I doubt it'll be that way.
No,
but you know what I mean.
Not,
like, but they might have. They may have never liquidated all of the old stock they had. They may have just never gotten around to it.
Brand new N64s.
Well, that stuff probably.
They probably chucked that in the trash.
Yeah, or like what did Electronics Boutique have when they bought all that stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. They probably had some stuff.
So there may be. I mean, usually a company would try to liquidate all of that stuff and get it off the books so that it's not just inventory sitting there, because it costs money.
What about like old big box PC games? That would be awesome too. Like, I can remember going into like those stores and they'd have a ton of those stuff. Like they had a whole wall of big box PC games back in the day.
Those are harder to sell.
Yeah.
Those are harder to move because people don't generally have setups at home that will play them.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
You have to go way out of your way to set something up that'll play those old PC games. Whereas, I know a lot of people with a Nintendo 64 still, and so it's plug and play for them.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see. I have a feeling it'll just be a little teeny corner of the smelly GameStop, and when nobody goes, they'll just shut it down right after Christmas.
Yeah, I'm waiting to be underwhelmed, but we'll see.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to walk past the underwear selection that they have there. Of
Do they have that now? They have the Funko section, right?
I'm sure they probably do, like your gaming underwear for
Yeah.
when you want a game. You can
Chris,
put on your.
Chris, do you remember when we went to that GameStop in the mall right after the swap meet in Portland? And like we were commenting at the time that it was all like young kids in there.
Oh yeah.
And you know, all the old people like us were at the swap meet, but like the younger generation was actually going into GameStop.
Yeah, they
But
hang out in
like,
there.
you know, maybe they realize that we're the demographic that has some money and we can spend some, and you know, maybe that's a target they're trying to go after with that.
Yeah, who knows? I guess only time will tell whether or not this is a good move for GameStop or not.
Yeah, they might be on their last legs. Let's see. I saw New Wave Toys is coming out with Crystal Castles, a little machine. We could talk about that a little bit if you want. Arcade One Up got $20 million in cash, so maybe they're going to be putting out some stuff. Why is my background? I'm just going to change my background, you guys, because like it just keeps stopping. It's supposed to have like a moving background.
Oh,
it's
background
just
freeze.
Yeah.
This is done.
FU restream. There we go. That looks good. But yeah, PAX should be cool tomorrow. Hopefully Dathan wants to hit me up, and get a beer there. And curious all the cool stuff. I'm gonna play that when Chris stops talking.
Nobody say anything.
Hello?
Yeah, we got you. All good.
Oh, there's Dathan. Dang. All these issues because I'm not there. I thought I just heard your voice.
So, what's your plan for Portland Retro Gaming Expo?
Yeah. Definitely want to go there on that Saturday. If you guys are still in the chat that are going, might go on Friday. I'm deciding if I want to bring my son or not, and maybe Friday go there that night and just like kick back and play pinball all night till they close. That
Friday,
fun.
I think I'm going to be there Friday. Saturday's going to be rough for me because there's like 2 other things that I want to go to in the same day. So it might be late at night, you know, just the last couple hours, or it might be a brief window of time in the afternoon. But I heard this year on Friday the booths are the vendors are open. It's not just an arcade like it was last year. So I think being there on Friday, if you're looking for anything rare, would be the time to go.
I wish I could go on Sundays, but I work on Sundays. But if you want a deal, that's the day to go to. It's Sunday, the last day.
So I'll probably Friday, Sunday be there, and then Saturday we'll see.
Let's see. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
Oh, did I turn off the chat? Can I make it bigger? No, maybe not. Did they? Have they released the schedule yet? No. More details to be announced soon. Please check back frequently and watch for announcements on social media. Interesting. Panel descriptions? Yeah, nothing. Okay, they did release the exhibitor list. A lot of it's like just small stores. Atari's going to be there. 201. Huh. I don't think Atari was there last year. If you see something, CGC video games, that's Dathan's favorite. Coastalvania. A lot of like little small things. Dark Horse Comics. I'm thinking that's what that is.
Really?
I haven't even looked at this list yet. DK Wilds. A lot of people hate them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Why
God.
does that ring a bell?
They're you can buy retro games from DK Wilds, and they blatantly overcharge people.
Okay.
And
so just controversy, probably, that I've heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dream Quest games. Some Final Fantasy Files podcast. GameCube. Geek Girl for Chris. Grandpa's Prince. Halo Collector. Jurassic Games. Limited Run Games is going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
They're also at PAX West. Dathan, if you're in the chat, does Limited Run have anything good to buy at PAX West? I'm guessing they don't, but I'll check them out.
Atari
Old
has
school.
the 7800 Plus coming out in November, so that's probably what they'll be pushing.
Oh, they might have that. Yeah. Pat the NES Punk is going to be there. He's got his book to sell. Pink Gorilla Games.
I was trying to see if Wormwood Gaming Tables was going to be there this year.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not on the list, at least.
But Dathan got his table at PAX West last year, so I wonder if they're at PAX. Quarter Arcades by Numbskull is going to be there, you guys. So that's really cool.
What do they do?
They have they're like new wave toys, but they're you can buy like the little quarter scale arcades. I've got the Polybius, but they make those in the UK. So they're from good old England. They're coming over.
Wild Bill's Soda is going to be there again.
Oh, do you have your cup?
My cup is now used for my Traeger.
Well,
you might have to buy a new cup.
Oh, I might. Wormwood skipped PAX this year.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess it's good Dathan got his table last year.
Star Wars artist Jason W. Christman will be there.
Yeah. You know who he is? I'm sure he's a nice guy.
I have no idea.
Wild Bill Soda. Yeah, and then TBA. To be announced is going to be at 7:02. All right.
I'm excited for that one.
Yeah. It's interesting. They got your money and they ran, Dathan.
No, I wonder if they've gotten enough orders now to the point where they're actually a little too busy to show up at these things currently. I don't know.
Dathan shared in our group chat that he bought a Mega Man card game or a role playing game, board game.
It's a board game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
We played the first one, and it was interesting to play a board game that felt like it was capturing what it was like to play a video game. Yeah, I thought they did a pretty good job. So I'm interested to see what they change in this second version.
Dathan, did you go to I think at PAX they have a whole level of the show dedicated to board games. So I wonder if that's where you got that. I wonder if they have other old video games they're turning into board games. That's cool.
Now, do you have the little figures from Mega Man, the board game, or is it just like cards?
I don't remember what the old version has, and I don't know what the new version has. I think at least the Mega Man figures were there. I'm not sure if the bosses were figures or cardboard.
Okay. It's just one of those where there are like so many board games out there nowadays, and so depending on who's making them and everything, they can be really fun or they can just be the worst experience ever.
It's true.
Says he did get it there. Yes, they also make a Sonic one. Ooh. Speaking of Sonic, did you guys see there is a Sonic the Hedgehog 3 trailer out?
Yes.
And Jim Carrey is going to be in it, and voicing Shadow is good old guy from The Matrix. What's his name?
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. Yeah.
You guys said that first one was actually legitimately a good movie.
Yep. For the first
Sonic is good.
Is good. Huh. The second one was pretty good. The Knuckles TV show that they did on Peacock was actually pretty funny.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it.
But yeah, I'm kind of excited for Sonic 3 based on that trailer that they released.
Okay.
So I don't know. It is kind of funny to go from your first trailer you ever put out for Sonic, the original one, was memed so hard by the fan base because of how bad Sonic looked.
Right.
They went back and they're like, "Oh, we're changing the design," and people are like, "Oh, looks more like Sonic." And then it's like, "Oh, this is actually a pretty good movie." And it's like, sometimes movie filmmakers actually listen to the audience and go, "Hey, let's make some changes," and those changes actually work for the better.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember when the Mario movie was about to come out and everyone was complaining about Chris Pratt voicing Mario?
Yep.
But it actually kind of worked. So, sometimes they don't listen to the audience. I don't know. It's just like the negative people out there, they just feel like, they can just find something negative about these things and just go on a rant. And it's like the same thing with that Star Wars game that's out right now. It's like, man, this game's so woke and all this, and like, how can they do that? Blah blah blah. Like, have you actually played the game? No.
It's a
so
lack.
Shut up.
It's a lack of context for a lot of these things. It's like some of the articles for Black Myth Wukong were like, there are no females in the game, but there are like females in the game. Like there are bosses you fight that are female. And it's like, if you actually read the article, the person's like, I only got 2 minutes into the game and then gave up on it. And it's like, you got to play it.
Was it Black Myth Wukong or some other game that they saw that when you're creating your character, it had pronouns in it? And you saw the pronoun, like, oh my god, they're woke. What are we doing? I've got to let's throw this game away. Oh, my God, how could they put that in there? Like, who cares? Jeez.
There's so many of them nowadays that
What
have
the?
that. But
Seriously?
you know, I did see the article that Sony had announced that they're raising the price of the PS5 in Japan in order to make up for the loss they're going to have from Concord.
That's an amazing. Well, I didn't hear it was due to Concord, but
yep, they're
the whole thing about the current generation of consoles. They're not going down in price; they're actually going up. With the Nintendo Switch, they've stayed the same, so it's like the same price you would have bought it for in 2017. It is today, which is still wild. But like, you know, usually when when a console comes out, the price goes down. This generation, the price has gone up. Now, it's going to be interesting when we see the sales results from this month, next month, when we see Xbox has not raised their prices yet. So in Japan, so I wonder if you're in Japan, you might be more inclined to buy an Xbox right now. Yeah. So hopefully Xbox is not stupid and raise their prices just like Sony does.
I think that the loyalty runs deep in Japanese culture when it comes to consoles, it seems.
Yeah.
Handhelds.
So I don't, for handhelds?
Yes, handhelds, because the console is only, from my understanding, Japanese culture is the console is primarily in the main living room space where everybody hangs out. So they don't really own consoles because it's the main reason why Xbox has had such a hard time entering the Japanese market, and Nintendo has thrived in that market because the 3DS is sold gangbusters because people play their games on the console or the handheld.
On the handhelds, yeah.
And the Switch has done the same thing for them. So
interesting.
Well,
yeah.
I think
Sony
PlayStation 5 is pretty popular in Japan. I think they've sold quite a few there. But yeah, Dathan wants to talk about the new popcorn bucket at AMC. Yeah, it looked pretty cool. I didn't realize there was like a Batman movie out.
I didn't either.
Yeah, so I guess it's like the animated show or something.
Oh, Eric?
I don't know that there's a movie out. I know that there's a new animated series. Speaking of woke, people are upset because they changed the penguin to a female. And
oh, I didn't hear that. Oh God.
Yeah, penguin's female in the new version of Batman. And I think it's on HBO only or something, or Amazon Prime, or I don't know. It's exclusive to a platform that I don't have.
That's Bruce Timm, I believe.
That sounds right.
Who did the Batman animated series?
It looks a lot like it's harkening back to Batman the animated series from the 90s, early 90s, and so it looks cool. I want to see it, but regardless of how woke it may or may not be.
Right.
See, the complaint I'd heard about it was that Batman uses a gun and shoots.
Oh,
like
also
the villains in this one, and so
I haven't seen that in the trailers at least, but
I haven't seen that in the trailers either.
Only supposed to use little toys.
So the AMC popcorn bucket Batman is actually to celebrate 85 years of Batman.
Oh,
okay.
So it has nothing to do with TV show or movie or anything. It's just a celebration of
he's old
Batman.
Yeah.
And then apparently they're going to have a special preview of the Penguin series that will be on Max.
Oh, right. With Colin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Colin
I have no interest in seeing that whatsoever because Batman's not in it. Are you guys like that? And the same thing, like I haven't seen the other Joker movies or whatever, but like Batman's not in it. Like, I don't know. Like,
I think it depends on the media. It depends on who they're focusing on. Like Pennyworth. I had no interest in watching Pennyworth, even though Bruce Wayne is in that. But I'm not particularly interested in watching it.
Well, and it wasn't that one supposed to be like a backstory on Alfred?
Right. Yeah.
And it's like,
That's a backstory nobody needed.
My understanding is not very many people were interested in watching that series because it's
very strange.
It's
How'd that one even pass like the corporate meeting?
Yeah, do they do focus groups and like, all right, what Batman character villain are you most interested in seeing? Like Pennyworth, the Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Joker, Penguin, who which one? Oh, that's the one right there.
We want to see the kid from Christian Bale's Batman Begins, the one that's sitting on the outside and he kind of sees Batman for a second. The one that was
do his backstory.
Yeah, we want his backstory. Like, does he grow up to be a villain? We don't know. They haven't given enough character development to him, so.
Well,
they got Paperboy.
Yeah, maybe they got a good actor and like Colin Firth or whatever, and all right, what villain do you think he could play? Like, he's under contract. Let's make a show about. He wants to do Batman. Let's put him in a Batman show. But we don't have to cast Batman. We're just gonna do it like that.
Colin Farrell, but yeah, he's
Colin
good.
Farrell, yeah, whatever his name is.
Yeah,
I think it'd be better with Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. Oh yeah, that'd be really good.
I like Colin Farrell as the Penguin in the Batman. I thought he was an interesting take on the character. I'd be fine giving the show a shot if I had Max, which I don't know that I don't think I do. So.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing. Is I thought he was actually really good in that role, and so I want to sit down and watch the TV show just to see what it's like.
Yeah.
Is it going to be one of those where it like builds up to how he gets his monocle and becomes like the Penguin, or are they going to go a different route with it? I mean, who really knows what they're going to do? But
does Danny DeVito have a cameo?
No,
awesome.
he's too busy hidden away in a couch.
You're talking about the vice presidential candidate right there. Oh, sorry. We won't go there. All right.
I was also gonna bring up when I went and saw The Crew this week. They had a trigger.
You saw it?
Yeah, I saw it.
You were one of three.
They had a trigger warning sign for Blink Twice, which is Zoe Kravitz's new movie. And it's the first trigger warning sign I've seen from a studio for a movie, because apparently it deals with Channing Tatum as a CEO of a company, and he brings these girls to his island, and then there's supposed to be like sexual abuse in the movie and everything. So they had a trigger warning, but it made me think,
where was the trigger warning for Deadpool?
Well, yeah, or The Incredibles 2, when that one first came out, it had strobing light sequence in the movie, and it wasn't until a couple days later that the theaters put up signs saying trigger warnings, this is causing seizures and people. And it's like, whose responsibility at what point do you tell the studio? Because video games have for quite some time had warnings in their games. Like this game has flashing lights that can cause seizures. And so is it the theater's responsibility to make sure everybody's aware of this, even though they haven't seen the movie first, or should the studios be putting out?
Well, it all depends. Like, if you're an individual and you can file a lawsuit against the studio for causing you to have a stroke or something, might as well, if you're the studio, cover your ass.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, like, if you have the ability to sue a studio if you think they did you harm, even though you bought a ticket, go right ahead. It's like, those people that got stuck on that ride at Oaks Park amusement park, and they got stuck in the roller coaster that stuck them upside down for like an hour or whatever. And they interviewed the girl and said she had emotional distress after she got off, and she's suing the park. Like, get where you can, whatever.
Just don't sign up for Disney Plus first beforehand, because otherwise you won't be able to sue.
This means, how many years has this been? 95. What's the statute of limitations on this, do you think?
Good question.
Because I think I'm going after MGM UA for Tank Girl that I sat through.
Oh, God.
Yeah. They owe me something for that.
Yeah.
That months of
I see as a rat man is pretty scarring, so
it's not just that, it's the entire thing. Yeah.
That's a good topic. Like, what's the worst movie you ever saw in the theater? Tank Girl?
Well, I don't know if so that's a prickly one, because I worked in the theater.
Yeah.
So I would go see like anything, right? You know what I mean? I can tell you what the most surprising movie I saw in the theater was. Like, because that I remember being shocked that I liked it. And that was Billy Madison. I showed up to work early, and I was like, I'm here on accident 2 hours early, and I had nothing to do. And then I was like, what is that stupid movie everybody's going to? And I went to go watch. I sat there, and I didn't even know what to expect. And I ended up laughing the entire way through. And being embarrassed I was laughing.
Yeah, right.
Like, it just worked. And then I got out and went to work, and I was like, what was that? And so no, to this day I still say that's like one of the most surprisingly, to me at the time, good movies. Like, I enjoyed it. So yeah.
Did you watch Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez in Geely?
No, I didn't see that. I do remember.
I was like, that's a really bad one.
Did you see Summersby? No. So Summersby was this movie, I think, with Richard Gere and Jodie Foster. And this girl asked me if I would take her. So, of course, you take her.
Oh, it was a date.
No, it was actually a friend. But, because, if you work in that theater, everybody asks you, like, hey, I don't want to pay for this. Let's go see it, right? It's why I saw Pulp Fiction like 4 times in the theater. Yeah. And so I take her to go see this movie. Nobody liked it but me. Like, people were mad, and there were all these olds leaving it, and they were mad, and they were like, well, that was a waste of a Sunday, like that sort of thing. And I'm going to spoil it, because if you haven't seen it now, the limitations are out. But it's because at the end, Richard Gere's up for some crime he didn't commit, and he's on the gallows pole, right? And Jodie Foster is going to prove he's innocent, and he gets hung. And then the movie just ends. And so all these people that were there for this nice Sunday romantic film or whatever, like this classic romantic film, it ended up being bad. And so they were all super mad. And I was like, this is great. What do you mean? This is great. You don't expect that to happen, and it just did. So, yeah, I think that would be one where a lot of people didn't like it.
I'm with Nathan. Yeah, Kung Pao Enter the Fist.
You saw that in the theater, though?
I thought it was very, very boring. And like, it was too slapsticky to be funny to me. It was annoying. I was annoyed. Maybe I was in a bad mood or something, but yeah.
Oh, it's so wild, because Kung Pao Enter the Fist I'll still watch every now and then.
Yeah.
Okay.
The slapstick humor is something that I guess just it gets to me at times.
Sure.
And, we ended up watching one called Hundreds of Beavers, which is like a modern day Three Stooges, where it just follows a guy who's trying to get beaver pelts because they essentially destroyed his keg making business and everything. So he becomes a trapper, and instead of using actual animals, it's just people in animal costumes.
That's pretty rad.
I'm not gonna Google Hundreds of Beavers furries, because that's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
we should do in order to find this film.
I was gonna say, though, there is a great documentary about the life of beavers on IMAX, I believe, and it's not an adult film, but it's like a real legitimate documentary about beavers. It's actually pretty good.
I'm still trying to think, like, worst movie, though, because I know that there had to have been. I fell asleep in the second Lord of the Rings movie. Like that one was hard to stay awake in.
According to Google, the top 10 worst movies of all time are the Garbage Pail Kids movie, the Star Wars Holiday Special, but I didn't think that was a movie.
That's not a movie.
Yeah,
reaching.
Battlefield Earth.
Yeah, I remember that
Okay,
one.
haven't seen that. That looked like garbage.
Plan 9 from Outer Space, 1957.
Doesn't count. Yeah.
Troll 2.
Yeah.
Seen it. Yeah.
Jaws: The Revenge. The Last Days of American Crime. Gold Diggers. Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2. I think I've seen Baby Geniuses 1.
That actually sounds that's got to be good.
And Pinocchio, 2002.
Okay.
Interesting.
I think that one's the one with.
I wouldn't mind going back and watching Battlefield Earth.
I would.
Yeah, Roberto Benigni. That's the Pinocchio that had Roberto Benigni. That one was pretty bad. Yeah, I remember that.
Worst movie though. I mean, like,
that's Rotten Tomatoes has their own list too.
Yeah. But you qualified it though that you sat in the theater and watched it. That's its own game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because
right.
The other thing too is like I was thinking back to a lot of the dates that I went on where the girl picked the movie, and there was like I think Notting Hill was one that I went to. Like there were some like Hugh Grant movies and stuff that Forces of Nature, things like that you'd go see because you're on a date. They don't really count as worst movies. I may have been bored, but they weren't like that. Like I don't know. It wasn't that bad.
Oh, do you guys remember Problem Child, 1990?
Yeah, that rings a bell.
With John Ritter.
Yeah.
You're talking about
Gilbert Gottfried.
In 2001, I had 3 different girls I went on dates with, and each one of them wanted to see Save the Last Dance.
Oh,
I've not seen that. I made it out without it.
I saw that movie 3 times in the theater, and
Ouch,
the
bro.
time I walked out, I was like, "Yep, I'm never seeing you again."
Yeah. In 2001, I think I was in a semi-long-term relationship. Although maybe that was when I had met my wife. So I hope she doesn't hear. But at that point though, that's when you could say like no to these movies. Like, no, why don't you see it with your friends and get out of them? You know.
Highlander 2, The Quickening.
I don't think that qualifies as the worst movie. It's not good, but it's not the worst movie. I think
not the worst.
Canonically, in my family, growing up, the worst movie we saw in the theater was a movie called Deep Blue. And the reason it was, and maybe it's a good movie. It might even be a good movie. Maybe it's a fine movie, but the reason we hated it going to it is the trailer sold you on, oh, there's some deep, mysterious, like supernatural thing happening in this film, and then you go and you see the film, and it's just people who know how to dive, like free dive well. And there's nothing mysterious or and so we were like, oh, there's like aliens or something in this movie. And then we went there and it's like, oh, it's just people who know how to dive good. And we were pissed. Mm-hmm. So we hated it because we felt like the trailer kind of sold us a bill of goods we didn't receive. But maybe it's a good movie even, or a decent movie, but we my brother and I, we hate it.
Well, that's a whole nother discussion though, as to when have you been fooled by a trailer and a movie's been something completely opposite of what you expected to see when you went in.
Sure.
Apparently the new Winnie the Pooh movie, Blood and Honey.
I'm sure that's awful, yeah.
It's gotten really bad reviews.
I would say Godzilla with Bryan Cranston.
That wasn't horrible.
No, the movie was good, but I'm saying as far as like,
is that the one with Matthew Broderick?
No,
that's 98.
Yeah, I'm talking about Bryan Cranston. The trailer makes it look like Bryan Cranston's the main human throughout the movie, and he's only in it for like what, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
that's one of those where the trailer was using a bigger star to kind of push it.
Yeah. It was kind of bait and
yeah.
switchy.
Yeah, bait and switch, right?
Elite Green says, I love Kung Pao. Definitely a good litmus test if you can be entertained by dumb humor.
Yeah. So I think the dumb humor malign for me is Airplane. I love Airplane. I think it's hilarious. I think that there's a lot of dumb jokes in it, but they're good to me.
Don't call me.
But they're not like sight gags, and they're not slapstick mostly. It's
there are sight gags in it too, though.
There are some, but I mean,
not overly used.
But it's not like everything like it is in Kung Pao, or feels like Kung Pao was. A lot of the jokes that stand out to me from Airplane are like puns or whatever. Like, there's a problem in the cockpit. Oh, the cockpit, what is it? It's a little room in the front of the plane, but that's not important now. Like, stuff like that. There's no sight gag there. It's just a play on words.
Right.
So that's the kind of dumb humor that I'm willing to get on board with. But if it's physical, like the Three Stooges or whatever, it's rough. It
loses. Yeah. I find it, one of the things that I find interesting about movies like Airplane, The Jerk suffers from this as well, is when they're too funny, you grow tired of them being funny.
Yeah.
Because like for the longest time, I thought that The Jerk was only really funny in its first act.
First half, right.
And then I saw the second half randomly on TV and laughed at a whole bunch of stuff that I had never laughed at before.
Right.
And it's because I was so tired of
just
laughing
humor
at
fatigue.
the jokes.
I get it.
Yeah, humor fatigue. Right. It to where you miss out on all of the funniness of the second half because of it. Airplane suffers from that same thing to me. And it's not that it's telling the same joke. It's just that you get tired. It wears out its welcome a bit.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, that was also one of those that was a great parody movie.
Yeah.
And we lost those after the Scary Movies came out, and then they started doing what was the name of the guys? Trying to think of the directors and writers.
The Wayans brothers?
No, it was Scary Movie 4, I think, is where they started with the two guys who claimed to be they're making things like Meet the Spartans. And it just, like, they weren't actually parody movies. All they were doing was taking the one-liners from the movies that they were trying to parody, and they threw them in. So it was
okay.
They weren't funny in any way.
Yeah.
Right. What's that? I think the technical term is intertextuality, when you refer to another body of text in your own body of text.
Yeah.
And it seems like modern media has suffered a lot from that. Like, hey, let's just mention some other property in our property, and people will be like, oh, I recognize that, and then that will make them feel good, as opposed to just writing a good story. They just reference other stories.
It was Jason Friedberg and Aaron Seltzer were the two guys who did it, but they took and kind of ruined the parody genre with all their garbage. But they put out like 8 movies that people paid money to see, and I'm just like, I don't get it. I would say for me, the worst movie I saw in theaters was Cats.
Well, that's on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have known better.
I expected it to be bad. I just didn't expect it to be a time suck.
You expected more cat buttholes, and you didn't get them, and you wanted your money back?
I didn't get my butthole edition,
Oh, I'm gonna have to clip that.
Yeah.
Clue is great, though.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard from many people that it was good.
Well, like, forget about how brilliant the home watching of Clue is, which it is, but the fact that they had 3 or 4 different endings that they released to different theaters, so that when people got together to talk about the film,
they
could be talking about entirely different endings.
Right.
That is a hilarious troll. That's so great.
Hey, Say in Spirits, he says the worst movie should have said was Twilight, Chris, that was not his worst movie. That he
They
enjoyed
can't
that
be
movie.
that bad.
That's
They
why
can't
he
be
didn't
that
bring it
bad.
up. He enjoyed that movie.
I didn't see that one in the
And
theater.
you didn't see it in theaters either.
Yeah, we're
We have
talking about
guardrails
okay,
on this.
sure.
Yeah.
theater
No,
movies.
we have
You
we have
got
rails
off the
on
hook
this.
with that one.
But movies that put me to sleep: Titanic and Blair Witch Project. I fell asleep.
Yeah, I know that's weird.
That's crazy.
The only one that I can think of was that Two Towers movie.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, because the first Lord of the Rings should have put me to sleep, but I saw it at like 8 a.m. It was one of those things. And then because nothing happens in that movie, they just walk.
Yeah.
And find other friends to walk with. And then when you think there's going to be some action, it just goes away and they just keep walking, and then they get on a boat.
I started falling asleep in the second Transformers movie, the Dark Moon one. That was so bad. I know that's probably Dathan's like favorite movie, but
is that the one with the robot balls?
It might have been. I was I was like half asleep. I think it's the one where Shia LaBeouf, he goes to college.
I'm embarrassed to admit that I fell asleep during Hellboy 2: The Golden Army. But in my defense, I think we had 2 tall boys of Pabst in the theater, and then went to my car to do pulls of Jameson, and then went back into the theater. And by that time, it was sleepy time.
That's pretty cool.
Well, I get home from work now. If I stop off and get me like wings and a beer, I'm like out.
Yeah.
So there's no way I'd be able to watch a movie.
Yeah. It was like college era days, and yeah, I couldn't hang anymore.
Saying Spirits can confirm it was the movie with the Devastator
balls.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that was one of those that
Michael Bay.
Yeah, it's too bad because the did you guys watch Bumblebee?
Yeah, I liked it.
It was good.
It's good.
And then Transformers: Rise of the Beast wasn't too bad. But I think because of the Michael Bay movies, there was like a fatigue with the Transformers series.
Yeah. At least among a certain group of us who like Transformers, we were Michael Bay'd out.
Good thing like none of us are like big Transformers fans. That would have been awkward.
So oddest, how about oddest movie you saw the most times in the theater? Because that one I know too.
The most times.
Like which one did you see the most times in the theater? If you've seen a movie many times in the theater, that's like odd that you did. Because here's my example: Seven with Brad Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it, I think, 3 or 4 times in the theater.
Twice I could understand because there's stuff.
No, it's because the same thing. People kept wanting to see it because that was one of those movies where it was quiet. I saw it on my own. And then people said, "Hey, what'd you think of that?" And I was like, "It was good." Then all of a sudden, somebody was like, "Well, if it was good, will you take me?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, okay, I'll take you." So I took one other person, and then 2 weeks later, it exploded like the word of mouth did. And so then it was like, "Hey, take me to go see this movie," sort of thing, so I could get them in for free. And then I was like, "Okay, whatever, I'll go take you." And yeah, I sat through it, and I remember on the 4th time, I was like, "Why am I sitting through this again? This is not healthy." Like it just didn't feel healthy at that point. It was pretty gross, right?
It's pretty gruesome. Yeah, the first time it was an interesting watch. The second time I was like, "Yeah, I feel gross watching this. I need to limit my intake of this film."
Yeah, but by the 4th, I was like, I don't care if anybody. I think somebody did ask me if I'd take him, and I was like, I will just sneak you in. Just go to the front desk, and I'll just let you in. I'm not watching it again. So yeah, that was the weirdest one that I had seen multiple times in the theater. And I've seen quite a few multiple times, actually, because of that.
Sure.
I remember seeing Star Trek Insurrection 3 times.
3 times.
That's like 2 times too many, I want to say.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had a date for one of them, and I took one. I took it my dad, but like I probably didn't. Yeah, it was just worth one showing. I think I saw
Napoleon Dynamite. Oh yeah.
Napoleon Spirit says Napoleon
So-
Dynamite. I think I saw the Austin Powers movie maybe more than once.
That's a fun
Okay.
movie. Though.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. Now Napoleon Dynamite I did see multiple times, but that one I give a break because the first time I saw it at a normal theater, then it did the beer run theater run. Like it was at like the McMinimans places.
Oh,
And
cool.
so then I would go see a movie like that there, you know.
Cyan, true story. The John Heder, the star of Napoleon Dynamite, went to the high school that Ryan and Chris and I graduated from.
Yeah, that's
He was
crazy.
he was a year ahead of us.
And Chris, tell him your yearbook story.
I got him to sign my yearbook at Comic Con a few years back.
Oh, nice. That's great.
Did you?
Yeah.
So it's like, wait, I could have had him sign it back in high school.
Yeah,
but
so this
instead,
yeah.
instead, I'll pay the guy to do it now.
That's
Did you tell him to write something about how you were great, how he had great times with you in the hallway or something like that?
No.
Make it like you're signing it back in.
Yeah, what did he write?
I don't remember. I'll have to find my yearbook.
That's really funny though. That's a good like hook.
I've
That's
got
one of your thoughts.
Yeah, I've got that one. Well, and his dad's doctor's office is just up the hill from where my parents live.
Sure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, I would say Rocky Horror Picture Show was probably the one I've seen.
Oh,
times.
yeah.
And the reason it's kind of weird is because I was going to the midnight ones where
The
people
Clinton
dressed
Street
up.
Fair?
Yeah,
But I never
Did you
dressed
dress
up
up?
for them. I never
You
dressed
didn't?
up for them. No.
I
So
don't
it's
think
like
that's weird.
I think your normal like Carhartt shirt that probably people thought you were dressing up. Like I thought that was like drag or whatever.
I enjoy the movie, but I never dressed up for it. And so it was like, why do I keep going back to the theater to watch this movie
Yeah.
when I'm not dressing up like everyone else?
Yeah, do it, Sam.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. He will not remember me. I think I had Spanish class with his brother, his twin brother Daniel, but I never had a class with John.
Yeah.
Anyway, the show's been on for an hour and 30 minutes. I'm gonna try to go to bed because
Yeah, you got an early morning.
I'm gonna wake
Oh,
up
yeah.
at 5 a.m. and drive to Seattle. But good show tonight, guys. Talking
Yeah.
movies, talking video games. I'm gonna
Heck
try
yeah.
to meet up with Dathan tomorrow and hopefully have some good times up in Seattle. And you guys out there, give this video a like. Consider subscribing to Ace of Jacks and me. And any other final thoughts, you guys?
I was going to ask. I kind of stole this from a conversation I saw earlier on social media or whatnot. But Dathan's not here, and I thought that it would be best if he was. But what would be the biggest like nerd purchase regret that you have?
Ooh.
Yeah. So think about that.
Okay.
We can talk about it next week.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
No.
I figure that Dathan's going to be able to trump anybody probably on that. Like,
Well, he actually goes
bring
out and
something
buys
so, yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean. So yeah, it's got to be something that you purchase that you're like, yeah, actually, this didn't work out well.
I could probably think of
Buyer's
something.
remorse, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Seeing Spirits, thanks for staying till the end, bro. We appreciate
Yeah.
it.
It's late. We're
Have a
here.
good night.
Yeah. All right. Have a good night, guys.